There's a level of discipline that doesn't motivate you. It terrifies you. And today you'll discover why most men will close this video in the next 30 seconds. Deep in the mountains of Japan, there are monks who carry three things when they begin their training: a white robe, the color of death, a rope for hanging, and a dagger for disembowelment. These aren't symbols, they're tools. Because the rule is simple: finish your practice or use them. This isn't ancient history, this is happening right now on Mount Hiei. And what these monks discovered about human transformation will destroy everything you think you know about discipline. But it comes at a price: the death of who you are right now. For over 1,200 years, Mount Hiei has been a place of death and resurrection. The marathon monks who live there practice something called the Kaihogyo. To the outside world, it sounds like an endurance challenge, walking 40,000 kilometers over 7 years, a distance equal to circling the entire Earth. But that's a misunderstanding. The Kaihogyo is not a challenge. It's a funeral procession for the self. When a monk begins this journey, he receives those three items: the white death robe, the rope, and the dagger. The contract is absolute. If you fail to complete your daily walk for any reason, injury, illness, exhaustion, you are required to hang yourself or disembowel yourself. This is not a metaphor. The stakes are death. And because of this terrifying condition, something miraculous happens. They don't stop. There are unmarked graves on Mount Hiei of those who did, but most finish. Not because they're special, because they have no choice. You're watching this because you sense something is broken. Not broken in a way you can fix with a new app or a different morning routine. It's deeper. You set goals and you abandon them. You make promises to yourself and you break them. You've become an expert in the art of letting yourself down. Most advice tells you to be kind to yourself, to take baby steps, to seek balance. But the monks of Mount Hiei would tell you that balance doesn't transform anyone. Extremity transforms. Necessity transforms. Inevitability transforms. Here's what they understood that you don't. The person you are right now is not capable of the life you want. That person has to die. And the only way to kill them is through a process so relentless, so consistent, so non-negotiable, that the old self simply cannot survive the pressure. Let me introduce you to Yusai Sakai. In modern history, he's a legend. He completed the full 1,000-day cycle twice, 80,000 kilometers. When journalists asked him about his superhuman feat, expecting him to boast about his strength or willpower, he simply said, "I moved my legs." But then he added something that unlocks the entire mystery. "I didn't do it to prove I could. I did it to become someone for whom it was possible." Think about that distinction. To become someone for whom it was possible. Right now, you're trying to do hard things with your current identity. That's why you fail. You're a smoker trying to quit smoking. You're a lazy person trying to work out. You're fighting against your own self-image. You're dragging a corpse up a mountain. The Kaihogyo doesn't strengthen the body, it incinerates the identity. So how do we simulate a death march in your modern life? We need a structure, a container for the transformation. We'll use a 100-day window. Why 100 days? Because it's long enough to be grueling, but short enough to be visible. It's a season of your life, a season of death. To enter this protocol, you must choose one practice, only one. Do not try to change your diet, sleep, work, and reading habits all at once. That's the amateur's mistake. That's ego trying to be a hero. We want one single point of focus, one dagger aimed at the heart of your weakness. But this practice must adhere to 3 non-negotiable rules. Break these rules, the experiment is void. You've failed. You're dead. Rule 1. It must be daily. This is where 99% of people fail. They say, "I'll work out 5 days a week," or "I'll write on weekdays." No. The psychological reconstruction requires continuity. The old self lives in the weekends. The old self lives in the cheat days. The old self lives in the breaks. We're trying to starve the old self, so we give it no room to breathe. 7 days a week for 100 days. No exceptions for holidays. No exceptions for sickness. No exceptions for mood. Rule 2, it must be measurable. Vague goals are the enemy of transformation. "I will read more" is garbage. "I will eat better" is a lie. Your goal must be binary. I read 20 pages, yes or no. I did 100 push-ups, yes or no. I wrote 500 words, yes or no. There is no gray area. There is no I almost did it. In the Kaihogyo, you either reach the temple or you use the rope. In your protocol, you either hit the number or you failed. Rule 3. It must be public. You must declare this. The monks take their vows in front of their order. You must take yours in front of your tribe, post it on social media, tell your spouse, tell your friends, create a cost for failure. If you keep it a secret, you preserve an exit strategy. You want to be able to quit without shame. But shame is powerful fuel. Shame is the fire that burns the old self. Do not hide from it. Use it. Let me show you what this looks like in bloody, messy reality. Meet Sarah. She's 32, a graphic designer with talent but no discipline. Big dreams, small will. For 10 years, she's started novels, gyms, diets, side businesses. Within 2 weeks, she quits. She has a graveyard of unfinished projects. She doesn't trust herself. When she looks in the mirror, she sees a quitter. She decides to enter the protocol. She chooses her weapon, drawing. 1 hour of focused drawing every morning at 6 a.m. before work, before the world wakes up. She posts it publicly. Day 1 of 100. If I miss a day, I donate $1,000 to a political party I hate. She sets the stakes. She burns the boats. Days 1 through 10. The deception. Sarah wakes at 5:45 a.m. feeling electric. She feels like a new person already. She makes coffee, sits down, draws, posts the photo. Her friends comment, "Wow, go Sarah. You're so inspiring." Her brain floods with dopamine. She thinks, "This is easy. I should have done this years ago. I'm going to be a master." If you're starting this journey, listen, do not trust this feeling. This is not transformation, this is novelty. You're a tourist visiting a new city. You haven't moved there yet. The old self isn't dead, it's just hiding, waiting for the novelty to wear off. It's patient. Days 11 through 30. The reality. The honeymoon is over. Now 6 a.m. feels like punishment. Sarah is tired, her hand cramps. Her drawings look terrible. She isn't inspired, she's bored. The old self starts to whisper, "You've proven you can do it for a month. That's enough. You need rest. Just skip 1 day, you can do 2 hours tomorrow." This is the bargaining phase, this is the parasite fighting for its life. Sarah pushes through, but she's angry. She hates the drawing. She hates the protocol. She hates me for suggesting it. Good. Hate is fuel. Keep walking. Day 43. The crisis. This is the day the old self makes its final stand. This is where the assassination happens. It's Tuesday. At 2 a.m., Sarah gets a call. Her father's been rushed to the hospital with a heart attack. She rushes over, spends the night in the waiting room drinking stale coffee, terrified, exhausted, drained of every ounce of emotional energy. She gets home at 5:30 a.m. Her father is stable, but she is wrecked. She hasn't slept in 24 hours. Her eyes are burning. Her body aches. She looks at her desk. She looks at her bed. The bed is warm. The bed is forgiveness. The bed is logical. Any sane person would say, "Sarah, sleep. You have a valid excuse. Family emergency is an exemption." The old self screams at her, "Don't be a masochist. This is stupid. Your dad almost died. Go to sleep." But Sarah does something insane. She sits down. She turns on the lamp and she draws. She's crying. Tears drip onto the paper. The drawing is ugly. Angry scratches and shapes. She's shaking. She feels like she's dying. And in a way, she is. In that hour between 6 and 7 a.m. on day 43, the Sarah who quits is suffocated. She's strangled by the Sarah who commits. Because if she can draw on this day under these conditions with this pain, then there is no condition in the world that can stop her. She didn't draw to make art. She drew to kill her excuses. Days 44 through 70. The silence. Something shifts after the crisis. The noise in her head stops. The bargaining stops. Sarah wakes at 5:45 a.m. and there's no debate. No, should I? She just moves. Coffee, desk, pen, paper. It has become like brushing her teeth, metabolic. She's no longer doing a challenge. She's just being Sarah. And this version of Sarah draws every morning. It's a fact of reality. like gravity. Day 71 through 90, the mastery. Now the quality of work improves. Not because she's trying harder, but because the resistance is gone. The energy she used to waste fighting herself is now poured into the craft. She enters flow state faster. She finishes her hour and wants to keep going. She feels a strange, quiet power growing in her chest. It's the power of self-trust. She knows with absolute certainty, if she says she will do something, it will be done. Day 100. The rebirth. Sarah looks at her stack of 100 drawings. The first ones are tentative, the middle one's angry, the last one's beautiful. But the drawings don't matter. What matters is the invisible architecture built inside her mind. She's installed a new operating system. She looks in the mirror. The quitter is gone. She can't even remember what it felt like to be that person. She has become someone for whom the impossible is inevitable. The monks of Mount Hiei have a saying during the hardest part of the walk, the Dwari, where they go 9 days without food, water, or sleep. They say that in the depth of that suffering, the boundary between life and death dissolves. They touch the infinite. You don't need to fast for 9 days, but you do need to touch your limit. The reason you feel empty isn't because you're doing too much. It's because you're doing too little of what matters. You're drowning in comfort. You're suffocating in safety. This protocol, this 100-day death is your way out. But be warned, once you finish day 100, you cannot go back. You cannot unbecome this person. The red pill has been swallowed. You'll look at your old friends, your old habits, your old complaints, and they'll look foreign to you. You'll be lonely for a while, because excellence is a lonely place. But it's better to be lonely and alive than popular and dead inside. So here's your task, right now, not tomorrow, not next Monday, right now. Pick your practice. Will you write? Will you run? Will you meditate? Will you build? It doesn't matter what it is, it matters that it is. Make it small enough to be doable but hard enough to be annoying. Make it daily. Make it measurable. Make it public. Go to the comments section. That will be your monastery wall. Write your vow. I state your name. Commit to your practice for 100 days. If I fail, I die. Leave that comment. Then tomorrow morning, take the first step. The world is filled with ghosts. People walking around breathing but who died inside 20 years ago. People who gave up. People who settled. Don't be a ghost. Take the knife. Cut the rope that ties you to your past. Start walking. If you're ready to begin, subscribe to this channel. This is for the living only. See you on day 1.